Hello and welcome to the MSC YouTube studio. My name is Charity, and joining me is the UK Minister for Development, Women and Equalities, Anneliese Dodds. Thank you for joining us.
It's such a pleasure to join you, Charity. Really, I've been excited about meeting you
Oh my
and
God.
taking part in this for a long time. So yeah, thank you.
Oh my God. And then you're like flying the YouTube colors. So this is like pretty amazing right now. So I have a couple of questions for you, Minister, in relation to what you do. How do you see the intersection of economic development and gender equality?
Well, thanks so much, Charity. I think that's a really important question. And I always look at this like the key going into a lock. Because if we don't enable women to participate in the economy, if we're not allowed to work or if we're not able to work, we're just not able to open the door of more economic growth. So I think it's really important that women and girls as well are thought about from the beginning in international development. I cover development and women inequalities for the
Yes.
UK government,
Yeah.
and I think they fit really well together. We have to think about, I always reckon, those girls, for example, who might be living in a refugee camp, might need to use the bathroom, be able to wash themselves. If we don't think about their needs from the beginning, then they're not going to be safe, they're not going to be protected. And again, if we don't think about women being able to set up their own businesses, being able to work, being safe, then whole communities won't be able to move forward. So as I said, I feel that we're like the key in the lock, we're needed to unlock that potential.
Yeah.
So our voices need to be heard.
Yes.
I know you always make sure your voice is heard. Yeah, that's for sure.
I feel exposed, but yes, you're right. Okay, so what is the UK's new role in development cooperation? And in light of the fact that the US is withdrawing and freezing funds on a couple of things, what's the UK's new role? Like, how does the UK step in to fill in the gap?
So I think we have to have a modern approach to international development. We've really got to be, as the UK, working directly in partnership, in equal partnership with countries in the Global South and with people and communities in the Global South. And that means that we need to be focused on issues like jobs, like the safety and health of populations, including their sexual and reproductive health. We need to make sure we're listening to what people are saying. And we need to work in partnership. And of course, the UK has worked in partnership with the United States before. We're very keen for them to continue the role they've had on development previously. But we're working with other countries as well. And as I said, above all, we're seeking to work with countries in the Global South as genuine equals, based on our mutual interests: economic growth, tackling the climate crisis, tackling global health as well, because diseases don't just stay in one country, they go across borders too, just like people do as well. So we really need to be working together on these issues.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, coming from Africa, I kind of know how in Africa, we kind of still have some gender biases. We still have some issues with gender-based stuff. It's like gender equality is still a little bit tough. So I want to know how you think gender equality in Africa can be enhanced, especially in the political and leadership areas.
Yeah, so I would say, first of all, in the UK, we have further to go on women's equality. We are working on the fact that on average, women still earn less than men in the UK. We have a big problem with violence against women and girls. We're really seeking to drive that down. And we need to be learning from each other globally on this. I've found when I've been in Ethiopia, Zambia, Malawi, South Sudan since I started, which has been amazing, I've met incredible women leaders and they've talked about what they're doing. And I found that really inspirational and taken some of those lessons actually back to the UK around what we need to do. So I think we've got to learn from each other. Certainly in my country, when it comes to political leadership, we found that it's important to support the grassroots, so that women and girls as well, and whole communities, so they can feel part of politics. But I think we've got some amazing women leaders in Africa,
yes,
including heads of state.
Yes.
So some incredible examples there to draw on.
Yes, very true. The new president of Namibia, of course, and then the first female vice president of Ghana. Super impressed. Okay, so finally, as a politician and advocate, what advice would you give to young women aspiring to make like a massive impact in politics and security?
Wow, what an interesting question. I think first I'd say that there are so many different ways to seek to change the world. Of course, there is electoral politics, and I'll come back to that in a moment. But there are also the changes that we can all seek to make in our communities, and also the changes that we can try and make around public discourse and the public debate and discussion, and the kind of thing that you've been doing without putting you in the spotlight again, Charity. But all of that contributes to us ultimately making sure that opportunities are available for everyone, you know, that we're challenging stereotypes as well about women and girls, and that we can move forward together on the big global challenges. When it comes to our role in politics, I mean, I came into electoral politics quite a long time ago, you know, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth just about. So we're talking kind of, oh goodness, over 20 years ago. Wow. Back then, social media like this was far less important. We were just starting to get email back then. So I suppose I had some time to get used to this, the pace of social media. I think for some women coming in now, it can be difficult because there can be a lot of criticism on social media. True. But I think there we just have to work together. We have to build our networks. We can kind of develop that power and support amongst each other. And I think we need to draw inspiration from, you know, different leaders as well, and work together with men who are backing women's leadership too. So I think there's a huge amount of opportunity there. And I suppose I would just say to any girls and women who are thinking of getting involved, like you said, Charity, just go for it.
Yes.
Just go for it.
Go for it.
Because you can do so much to change things when you get involved.
You're right. You're right. Okay, finally, I'm going to ask you my own thing. So you've been to many African countries like you've listed. Which one is your favorite so far?
Oh no.
Which was your favorite to visit? Don't worry, we're not going to fight you at that. We love each other.
I know.
Any country, and I'm happy.
Because genuinely, I absolutely loved meeting people in each one of those countries and finding out about the incredible work that's being done. In Zambia, it was fascinating to learn about all the innovations that are happening in the energy system, and so quickly. I mean, that change is coming so rapidly. Lots of amazing businessmen and businesswomen, really interesting to see. Again, I think a lot that the UK can learn from around that entrepreneurial approach, and a lot of links between our two countries. In Malawi, it was really fascinating to learn from some of those who've been engaged in making sure that government works for people, you know, dealing with issues around transparency. Some of the females involved in the judicial system, they're really strong women. That was really interesting. And then in Ethiopia, the rapid pace of change that you can see, particularly in the capital, you know, incredible opportunity there, no question. And in South Sudan, some of the civil society activists are doing amazing work in really difficult circumstances. And the strength of some of the people that I met was also very inspiring. I met some people who'd, both children and adults, who'd had to come out of Sudan back into South Sudan. And their incredible resilience in the face of what had happened to them was something that I'll never forget. So definitely each one of them. Here you go. I'm being very careful here.
No, don't worry. I'm not. Not today. But I'm really happy you said all these, because at the end of the day, I feel like so many people have negative mindsets about Africa, and then saying these amazing things you experienced in each of these countries is heartwarming. Like the world gets to see this and be like, okay, well, Africa is not all that bad. I mean, yeah. So Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Can you say Dalu?
Dalo.
Hey, look at you. So it's my language and it means thank you.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
really
Igbo. Yeah, I just
nice.
taught you something.
Oh,
Okay, so
brilliant.
thank you so much, Minister, for joining me
Oh.
today. I am truly grateful. You're an amazing person with an amazing spirit. And I wish I could go home with you because you're like my mom right now. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm
Oh.
super grateful.
Oh, well, it's been a real pleasure. Dalo.
Hey! Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.